Up next, we have Dean Russell. Dean Russell is the Conservative Member of Parliament for Watford and was elected just last year. He was the former Conservative Party parliamentary candidate for Luton South in 2017 and a former district councillor. Dean, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam President. I speak to you in this debate for the first time. In fact, it's possibly my first visit to Cambridge University, which is a real honour and privilege. And it's such a pleasure to speak with such distinguished individuals. I would normally say that I have big boots to fill, but I often say that because of my height. But in this instance, I mean it because of the quality of the speakers. I stand here with hope to convince you all why a no confidence vote is not only the wrong decision, but it would be a snub to the country. But before I do, I'm aware that as a new backbench MP, it might help to give you some context why I, as a Conservative MP, believe the decision would be wrong. In this place, I have to say, it is quite a departure from where I was when I grew up. When I was just a couple of years younger than many of you are today, as a working class lad, I recall vividly my teacher telling me to give up on my A-levels and go get a job in a factory. I didn't give up. I studied physics. And in fact, my research supervisor, Professor Sue Bayliss, who is sadly no longer with us, was a research fellow at Cambridge. So she used to regale me with amazing stories of her time here. And during my studies, I did every job going, from patrolling car parks, at my height I wasn't very threatening, I have to say, through to cleaning toilets. But I learned the hard way what hard work was all about. I didn't learn about the challenges of being working class from books or editorials, but from real life. I know firsthand the importance of confidence and the role we all play in believing in each other, in believing in being better, and in believing in being the best versions of ourselves. This government does too. Despite the awful backdrop of COVID, this government has been delivering on levelling up. This government sees the ambition in everyone and is delivering to provide opportunity for all. £27 billion in funding English strategic roads, £10.9 billion increase in housing investment as we aim to build 1 million new homes by 2024, £5 billion in capital investment projects, £1 billion to rebuild schools, £900 million in local growth projects in England, £510 million to expand 4G mobile coverage in rural areas. National living wage was increased by 6.2%. Lifetime learning opportunities for free for adults without A-levels, for people like me, if I'd taken the choice that my teacher had given me. The list goes on. But of course, this debate will undoubtedly be debated through the lens of the COVID pandemic. I have no doubt in this very chamber, one of you, all of you in fact, will know one of the 12.5 million people furloughed during the COVID crisis. Someone who benefited from the 1.2 million businesses that were supported, or the 900,000 small businesses supported by business grants of £10,000 to £25,000. Discretionary grants provided £600 million to SMEs, tens of billions provided in low to zero interest loans. An unprecedented scale of financial support has received praise, not only from Conservative voters, but from left-wing union leaders and even Labour politicians. There will be some who will say that this is not enough, but they will say that even if we doubled those figures and crippled the economy in doing so. At the heart of the approach, we have had to balance lives, livelihoods, and liberty. And that's a difficult road to walk, as you'll know from the debates we have had today. Lives always had to come first, and as a new member in the House of Commons, I felt the palpable concern in the early stages of the pandemic, the fear that hospitals would close, that doctors would be forced to choose who would ration ventilators. Yet thanks to this government and the work of the whole country, we had enough ventilators. We built 7 Nightingale hospitals. We scrapped £13.4 billion in NHS debt. 3 billion items of PPE were delivered to 58,000 health and care settings. Ministers worked day and night, and I know that because as one of the MPs, I was calling them day and night for advice and support. What many don't see is that government ministers were there for all of our constituents, and they were there for all of you, whether you saw it or not. At the very core of why I deplore this motion is because Her Majesty's government